everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive. This time we're diving headfirst into one of the greatest epic tales ever told.
The Ramayana.
You got it.
It's a story packed with adventure and philosophy and some really incredible characters.
Well, that's what we love to unpack in these deep dives, right? Taking a look at the stories and the figures that have captured imaginations for centuries.
Absolutely. And today we're focusing on Episode 3 of the Srimad Valmiki Ramayana.
Well, this is a good one.
It really is.
This is where we meet Rama and Lakshmana, who at this point are just young princes.
Yeah, just starting their journey.
They're accompanying Sage Vishwamitra on a pilgrimage, but it quickly becomes clear that this is no ordinary trip.
Right. This is where things get really interesting because Sage Vishwamitra decides to take these young princes under his wing and train them.
And that brings up a big question for me.
What's that?
Why these princes? Why did Vishwamitra, this incredibly powerful and wise sage, choose Rama and Lakshmana to be his disciples?
Well, you have to remember, Vishwamitra wasn't just some random sage. I mean, he had this amazing backstory.
Oh yeah, he was a warrior king before he became an ascetic, right?
Exactly. He knew the ins and outs of both worlds.
So maybe he saw a bit of himself in Rama and Lakshmana.
Possibly. I think he recognized their potential, their courage, their sense of righteousness, and maybe most importantly, their desire to learn.
So what did this training actually look like? What kind of skills were they learning?
Well, it was a mix of physical combat and divine knowledge.
Sounds intense.
They were learning how to use all sorts of weapons, but not just your average swords and bows.
Oh, what kind of weapons are we talking about?
Well, they were learning about celestial weapons activated through mantras.
Whoa, mantras. Like magical incantations.
Exactly. These were powerful invocations that could summon weapons of incredible force.
So what kind of weapons are we talking about here?
Well, one example is the Brahmastra.
Brahmastra. That sounds pretty serious.
It was said to be capable of destroying entire armies. But here's the catch. It could only be used in the most dire circumstances.
That's a lot of responsibility.
Exactly. And that was a key part of Vishwamitra's teachings.
It sounds like he wasn't just teaching them how to fight, but how to use that power responsibly.
Exactly. He emphasized the importance of dharma, which is like cosmic order, and karma, the law of cause and effect.
So this training wasn't just about physical strength. It was about shaping their character.
Absolutely. It was about preparing them to be righteous leaders, not just skilled warriors.
That's really interesting. It makes you think about how this training might have influenced their actions later in the epic.
Oh, definitely. All those lessons about dharma and karma would have come into play when they faced tough choices and moral dilemmas.
Makes you wonder if Vishwamitra saw all that coming.
Right. Like, did he choose them because he knew they were destined for greatness? Or did his training give them the tools to forge their own path?
That's a question that's been debated for centuries.
It's one of the things that makes the Ramayana so fascinating. It doesn't offer easy answers. Instead, it makes us think about the interplay of fate and free will.
And that's something that's still relevant to us today, right? We're always trying to figure out how much control we have over our own lives.
Exactly. The Ramayana, with its timeless themes and complex characters, has a lot to teach us about human nature, even thousands of years later.
So what can our listeners take away from this episode?
Well, this episode is just a small part of a much larger story. I encourage everyone to keep exploring the Ramayana to see how Rama and Lakshmana use their training to face the challenges that lie ahead.
It's an incredible journey full of adventure and wisdom, and I can't wait to see what we uncover next.
Me too. Until then, keep diving into those great stories.
And we'll be back to take another deep dive soon.